Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to Unit 5, Lesson 7. This is combining representations. Combining representations consists of combining all of the things that you've learned so far, both the letters, numbers, and images, and creating one record with that. Okay, in this particular case, it happens to be a veterinary record of a particular animal. Okay, in this lesson, you're going to use three types of binary representations from the ASC2 characters: binary number and images, to decode information in a record. After seeing a series of bits and being asked to decode them, you are introduced to the idea that in order to understand binary information, you must understand both the system that is being used and the meaning of the information encoded. You will then encode or decode a record representing a pet based on a given structure. The purpose of today's lesson: in previous lessons, you use different representation systems in isolation, which means you use them by themselves. Here, you will see various representation systems used together within the same record. You should see that it's important not only to know the various codes, but to create rules about which codes are being used and at which points in the record they are to be used for that record. Without the structure, it is impossible to decode a series of bits. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we go to the start of your page, and in your page we have the same overview that I just read you. It gives you resources, which are your activity guides. You'll find your activity guides. You must ask for them from the instructor. In these recordings that we're making, we want to know who's in there and what you're doing. And we want to make sure that you do ask us for the activity guide and the reference guide that go along with this particular one. So today we're going to be working on this particular activity guide. And it is a record. And we'll go through and we'll read the instructions first. Activity guide, pet records. Pet records. A pet shelter is keeping records of all different pets available for adoption. Each record includes the pet's age, name, and an 8x8 image representation of the pet. The record is stored in binary and it's organized into 8-bit sections. 8 bits. Okay, each section of 8 bits is called a byte. So each one of these lines here is called a byte. There are 8 bits in this byte. Okay, byte number 1, which line 1, is going to have the age in it. So we want to make sure that we remember how to do the age. Remember how we do numbers? Just to refresh your memory, first number is 1. Second number is 1 plus 1 is 2, so that's 2. The next number, 2 plus 2, which is 4. And then we go 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. We double these up each time. Okay, so let's go ahead and read the rest of it, and then we'll go ahead and get started, and I'll let you work on it on your own for a few minutes. Okay, the next 7 bytes, 1 through 7, hold the pet's name. Each byte is one ASC2 character. And the next 8 bytes, 8 through 15, hold the 8x8 image of the pet. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to, first of all, show you the binary table. And this binary table is also in that activity guide section that we gave you. It should be in your classroom because we would have sent it to your classroom under classwork or under assignments. Okay, so make sure you have that. You're going to need that to decode the rest of the record. So let's go back to the record. Okay, here's the record. Okay, so the first one, I'm going to help you with the first one. All right, the first one is we have the 1 open, the 2 is closed, 2 plus 2 is 4, so 4 is open. So we only have 2 boxes open, the 1 and the 4. So 1 plus 4 equals 5. So the age of the animal is 5. So we go down here and we put a 5 in there. All right, I'm going to give you a few minutes to work on the name. Remember, name is 1 through 8. So go ahead and spend a few minutes on that. I'm working on 1 through 8. And then we'll come back and we'll finish it up. Okay, now that we're back, you should have come up, based on the 7 lines of code, you should have come up with the name of Rufus. The first one being an R, second one being a U, next one being an F, and then the next one being a U, and the last one being an S. Okay, so you should have come up with Rufus for the name. Okay, what information can you find out about the 8x8 picture? So now I'm going to give you a couple minutes to go ahead and work on the 8x8 picture. Okay, we're back. Based on the picture you see now, what do you think that is? It's a dog. You're correct. It's a doggy. Say right in. It's a dog. Okay, so now let's go on to the next part. And I'll give you time to do that again. It's a new record. And once you've completed that, we'll go through the whole thing again. The pet shelter decided that the image wasn't very useful, so it decided to use the space to save the weight and breed of the dog instead. The new record is organized as follows. The first byte, 00, holds a pet's age. The next 7 bytes hold the pet's name. The next byte, 8, holds the pet's weight. And then the last byte holds the pet's breed. Okay, so go ahead and work on that and come back and we'll figure out what it is. Okay, we're back. And let's see what we came up with. First of all, the age. Okay, based on the age, we look at this and we say, okay, 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 4 is 7. And that's it. The age is 7. You are the winner. 7 is the right number. Okay, now the toughie. So we go down here. Let's go ahead and fill it in. So we have 7. Okay, now we're going to look at the name of the dog. The name of the dog. Okay, as you go through here, you've decoded this portion, this portion. Okay, the first part. First part, this happens to be an O. And the next letter, number 2, happens to be an L. And the next letter, number 3, this happens to be an I. Whoops. Sorry, my bad. 3 happens to be an I. 4 happens to be this right here, this code right here. So we went black, white, black, white, black, white, white, black, happens to be a V. And the next one happens to be, that would be number 5, happens to be an E. An E. And the name of the animal is Olive. All right. Then we have 2 spaces here. Okay, so we have 2 spaces. So if we go back and we look at those and we look at these things here, and the code is dark, dark, light, dark, 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 dark. Okay, so we'll go back and make sure space is dark, dark, light, dark, 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 which means it is a space. So we have 2 spaces. Space there, space there. Now we're going into the weight. Okay, the weight, we are now know where numbers are. So let's look at the numbers. This is 1, 2, 4. This is 8, 16, 32. So we have 32 and 8, which equals 45. No, it's 40. I was just kidding you. Just wanted to make sure you were alert. 32 and 8 is 40. So it's 40-pound dog. Okay, remember how we did that. 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, so there's 8. 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus 16 is 32, 32 plus 8 equals 40. Great. Okay, now we're going to look at the breed of the dog. The breed of the dog is what? Okay, so the first one we look at is an H. And the next letter, number 10, is a U. And the next letter, number 11, is an S. And number 12 is a K. And number 13, right here, is a Y, which means it's a husky. Hey, you are the winner. Olive is 7 years old. She's a 40-pound husky. Now, this record is much better than the last record we had because, yeah, it is nice to have a picture of a dog, but come on. I mean, I'd rather have the information about how much the dog weighed, what kind of dog it was, to know a little bit more about the dog. And the last two lines are the spaces again. Now, what other information might someone want to know about the dog? What else could you put on this record? Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Here it comes. How about whether it was a female or male? That might be a good idea. I might want to know whether it's a male or a female dog. I might want to know whether it's been spayed or neutered. I might want to know, let's see. Oh, I suppose you could know the color, because if it was a husky, it could be or if it was a lab. Let's say it was a lab, you could say it was a black lab, chocolate lab, and could be anything. So maybe color, that might help too. So those are just some ideas that you can also throw into your coding portion of your record if you so chose. Okay, remember, when you make it up, you can do what you want with it. You have to have a reference page so that people can decode it. And you have to have a definite idea of what you want in your record. Okay, so that's it for this portion. And I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much and have a great afternoon or evening or morning, whatever you are doing visiting me here. See ya.